So you hear me talk all the time about CompTIA certifications, and they're great, don't get me wrong. But there is an entire world of certifications out there that are not offered by CompTIA. My story did not start with CompTIA at all. It actually started with Microsoft. Now, I specifically want to talk today about what your first certification should be. Some of you have already gotten certifications and are well on your way into an amazing IT career. And I love that fact. But where did you start? I would love to hear your story. My first certification was a Microsoft Office Specialist, or MOS, for I believe it was Excel. I went on to get the PowerPoint, Outlook, and Word versions of that. I tried for the MOSE, which is the Microsoft Office Specialist Expert, and I failed. It was not a great feeling, but I was really introduced to the entire certification world and journey. So my question for you is, what was your first certification? For those of you already in tech, how did you get your foot in the door on your path of certifications and exams? Now, some of you are just starting your journey. You are just starting looking at different certifications, what's right for you, and it really depends on what your goals are and where your path takes you. And it may not be as common as the traditional A plus, Net plus, Security plus, and go, right? I had 3 or 4 MOS certs before I was even introduced to the CompTIA world. And if any of you have heard my story, you know that my start to the CompTIA path was not smooth at all. The summarized version is that I got to sit in a classroom. I had the opportunity to sit through CompTIA A+. And we had a gentleman literally read a 1,000-page book to the classroom. Didn't look up for questions. There were no labs. There were no practice exams. There was just boredom, a lot of it. So a lot of people in that class, they went, they got their certification. We learned the foundational information needed, but there was nothing fun there. And that's when I decided that I could do it better. And that's really where my path got solidified in becoming an instructor. I never wanted to have to experience myself or put others through the nightmare of being read a 1,000-page bedtime story full of RAM, storage options, software, implementation, you get it. Anyways, there are a million different ways to get into tech, and you do not have to take the traditional path. If you're in high school or college and you're looking to add certifications to your resume to make sure that you're marketable and competitive, of course, look at CompTIA. But look at what Microsoft is offering. Amazon has certifications, Cisco has certifications, there's EC Council. There are so many different options out there. And that's why it's really hard as an instructor to give you straightforward feedback when people ask, what certification should I get next? Or where should I start? Well, the starting points aren't too hard for us to navigate, but it really does take a conversation to see what your goals are and what experience you have already, and maybe what knowledge you've already been working on so that we can put you on the right path to find your dream career. And to be honest, your career might shift and shake. You might have to pivot. We all have to change and keep up with the tech and the changes that are coming at us at light speed. When I first got into technology, I thought I knew exactly what I wanted to do. 10 years later, I'm in a whole different place talking to you about your journey. So for those of you already in tech, share with me in the comments, what was your first tech certification? For those of you who are just starting, if you have questions, ask them here. Let's have that conversation. Your path is unique to you, and we have to find out a little bit more about you and where you're headed to give you the best advice. So what certifications were you thinking about getting? Where do you want to start? Where do you want to go? What are your goals? Those are the questions that we'll have to talk about to really put you on the right path and make recommendations for what you should be studying for, what certifications you should be getting. Remember that every path is unique and you can do this. You just got to put the effort forth, get some guidance and some mentorship, and then we'll be talking about your success story. Have a good one. We'll talk later.